What's going on, guys? It's Joe with Lone Wolf Paintball, and today we got the new infamous Gen 4 Murder Machine trigger. Before we jump into this video, guys, make sure you head over to the website, lonewolfpaintball.com, the best source for paintball for all your paintball supplies, and check out pbswagbag.com. Use our code LWP10. You can save 10% on your first order. So jumping into it today, guys, we got the new infamous Gen 4 Murder Machine trigger. These have been probably one of the most popular triggers Infamous has ever made. They fit in your Emeks, your EMFs, and your ETHA 3 mechanical versions. Nice little trigger, good bearing, adjustable actuation points on the trigger, so you can make it nice and short and fast and get those mech guns rocking out there. So the biggest update with this new Gen 4 is going to be this new removable trigger shoe on the front. So, which is cool, so you guys can kind of use this wider trigger shoe, or you can take it off and it's going to run like the original Infamous trigger. I'll show you how that works. So now right in the front, you got this little set screw that goes into the trigger. Undo this. Nice and carefully, don't want to lose the screw. So now this shoe will come off. One more. So put my screw down there. Well, leave it in. So now, you got pretty much kind of looks like your original Infamous, Gen 3 Murder Machine trigger. Some guys like just that little skinnier profile, but there's been a ton of modifications going on, trigger shoes, things like that. Some other guys enjoy this a little bit thicker, so you can kind of see the side-by-side if you want that profile, or if you want the wider trigger shoe. But yeah, this is a really cool update that they did. I really like how that goes in the front, so it's going to be easily to remove on or off the gun when it's installed. I'm going to show you how to install this on the gun here in a second. But yeah, to install it, you have to take off the shoe. So we're actually kind of set up and ready to go. But so run it like that, or you pop that on, you get a little bit wider. Guys can kind of sneak their fingers right off to the side and kind of walk these little single triggers. So
that wide adapter is accepted for tournaments?
Yeah. The trigger shoes are allowed to be used. Kind of the rule is that the trigger shoe can't be wider than what the frame is. So you can kind of see how the width of that is exactly the entire width of the trigger guard. So that's kind of for your ICPL, 10-man, your Pittsburgh Open Classic, those tournaments. That's pretty much kind of the guideline for that. I mean, you can't have something that goes all the way off the side of the gun and then you're completely rocking it. So yeah, so it will conform with the current mech rules. So alrighty, show you guys how to install this. Pretty quick installation. Cool. So jumping on in. So usually I want to take the barrel off. You're going to want to drop your frame. Move the stand out of the way. Yeah. Should have grabbed one of the ball head ones. If you do got the ball heads, it makes it easier. Alright, so we got those. Gun's going to come apart just like that. Whole top half you can set off to the side. Got those there. We got a shoe. Got a trigger. And to get after this, so you got these 4 Phillips head screws right on top. You're going to take off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then underneath here is going to be your trigger springs. When you go to take this off, you can kind of see you got that spring tension right there underneath is where your trigger spring is. So just don't let that go flying out at you. You're going to remove that. Your safety is going to pop right out. And then just got to do a little bit of hammering to get that pin out. So over here. Usually you don't want to pound it right into the table, so I got the soft end of these wrenches on here. This gives a little bit because this pin has to get punched out. So want to give a little bit of room. If you press it right up against the table, you'll be working against yourself. So just a few little taps, that's going to come out. Your old trigger is going to slide out. You're going to pop the new trigger in. When you go to put it back in, you can use Infamous includes this nice little trigger pin. You know, this one can technically go in either way. Of course, this one you're only going to be to put it on the big side. It's got a little skull in there, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna pop that out. So we're gonna set the trigger in. You got that screw hole right through there. So that is gonna go back in. It's lined up. There we go. So when you go to put it in, essentially this rod is going right through the center of the bearing. So make sure the center of the bearing is lined up with that hole. Push it in. And you can either pound it back in or just a little rubber end of the hammer. Push it until it's flush, and then that kind of sticks out a little bit. Kind of a cool looking, cool look for you with the skull. So you got that back in. You're going to put your safety in. So now safety works. And put your trigger spring. Trigger spring goes right on the back of that. And then I'm going to put this plate back on. So like I said, the top of that spring lines up with that big plastic bump out there. So end up in the spot. I'll pop into place. Then when you go to put these back in, guys, I definitely don't recommend over tightening them as soon as they stop. There we go. All the way down in there. That spring. As soon as you feel any resistance, you kind of want to stop. You ultimately, with this frame, it is a composite frame. So if you do get too crazy over tightening them, you can have some issues. Come on. Just a little bit slow. And the last one. So you got the spring tension, clicks, returns, nice and easy. Safety works. Just gonna slide this back on.
That's just what, 2 screws, one in the grip frame and one at the back behind the...
Yep, just your two screws, 1/8 inch Allen wrench. Yeah, mess with that, but you guys get the idea how that pops on. All right, so now I got the trigger back on. If I want to put on my my trigger shoe, I got the screw in the center. It's going to go in that center screw hole. Top one is going to be the activation. The bottom's the stop. So that center empty one is going to be for the screw or for the shoe to go into. So line it up there. Use my Allen wrench. Gotta come in from the side. Bam. So there you go. So you saw it with just the trigger by itself, which you can run that way. It's kind of like the Gen 3, or if you want to use the removable shoe, you can put it on there. It's kind of cool too, how we did the matching colors. I like that. Maybe we'll even do some swaps. You can get a gold trigger with a black shoe, or if you got some buddies, you guys can definitely trade them around. But yeah, that's the installation overview of the new Infamous Gen 4 Murder Machine trigger. These are available now on the website, lonewolfpaintball.com. $54.95. Right now coming in 5 different colors: black, blue, gold, silver, and red. But yeah, all available now on the website. Yeah, really loving the look of these. And like I said, you can kind of get in there on the side. You can walk it. So shop now, guys. lonewolfpaintball.com.
See you.